Hi bestie. Today I want to speak to something deeply human: grief. Grief is profound, messy, and personal. And when it feels like you're walking through it alone, when friends and family don't understand, or when support feels absent, it can feel unbearable. Yet there are ways to sustain yourself, to heal, and to find your way step by step. Grief isn't something you fix. It's something you live through with tenderness, patience, and self-care. 1. Allow yourself to feel. Your emotions are valid and deserve space. First, acknowledge this simple truth. Your emotions are valid. Grief can bring sadness, anger, numbness, guilt, confusion, even relief. There's no right or wrong feeling here. If you want support in validating your emotions and learning to live with them rather than suppress them, consider reading It's Okay That You're Not Okay by Devine. It dismantles the myth that grief should be managed and offers a compassionate framework for allowing your emotions just as they are. 2. Create gentle rituals. Light a candle, sip tea, or write to your loved one. Rituals anchor us. They give meaning to our feelings and create a quiet, sacred space for remembrance and release. Maybe it's lighting a candle each evening, brewing a warm cup of tea during difficult moments, or writing a letter to the person you lost. Books such as Healing After Loss, Daily Meditations for Working Through Grief by Whitmore Hickman can support you here, offering daily reflections to make moments like these feel less heavy and more nourishing. 3. Seek comfort in nature. A quiet walk can soothe a heavy heart. Nature has a quiet way of holding our emotions when we feel like no one else does. A walk in the woods or a pause by the water can help your heart breathe and your thoughts settle. There's no rush, no demand, just presence. For many people, spiritual or reflective works like Grief is Love by Marissa Renee Lee explore how grief transforms our inner landscapes and connects us more deeply to the world, even when we feel alone. 4. Nourish your body. Small, loving meals remind you that you matter. Grief doesn't only affect our hearts, it affects our bodies. Eating might feel hard when you're grieving, but nourishing yourself purposefully is an act of compassion. Simple, loving meals are a reminder that you matter. Supportive books like Self-Care for Tough Times, though not exclusively about grief, offer practical tools for caring for your whole self when vulnerability feels overwhelming. 5. Journal your heart out. Write freely without judgment or expectation. Journaling gives voice to what feels too heavy to speak aloud. It's a private space where you can cry on the page, scribble feelings you don't fully understand yet, or simply record moments of peace when they come. If you want a daily journaling companion specifically for grief work, Grief One Day at a Time, 365 Meditations to Help You Heal After Loss by Dr. Alan D. Wolfelt can be a gentle guide, offering daily prompts that invite presence, reflection, and acceptance. 6. Lean into spiritual practices. Prayer, meditation, or stillness can hold you. Spirituality doesn't have to be religious, but practices like prayer, meditation, mindful breathing, or quiet reflection offer grounding when emotions feel turbulent. Many people find comfort in books that connect grief to spiritual growth. For example, A Grace Disguised, How the Soul Grows Through Loss by Jerry Sitzer explores how grief changes inner life and can deepen compassion and resilience. 7. Find a safe community. Even if friends or family fall short, others who get it exist. Finally, know this: you are not alone. Even if the people closest to you don't understand your grief, there are others who do. Support groups, online communities, grief counselors, and compassionate friends can become your safe people. Books can also become companions in that sense. Writings like Grief Works by Julia Samuel provide real stories of others walking similar paths, reminding you that your experience isn't isolated. Grief does not disappear. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. But the pain does soften over time when you walk with care, gentleness, and openness to the small comforts along the way. By allowing your emotions, creating rituals of remembrance, seeking solace in nature, nourishing your body, journaling your truth, leaning into spiritual grounding, and finding community or compassionate resources, you give yourself tender steps toward healing. Remember, you are not alone. Healing is a journey, one tender step at a time.